Fred Hoffman, and I'm with CreativeResults.net. I wanted to talk with you just a little bit about organization skills. I guess if you've visited my site any at all, you can kind of get an idea and a flavor of my field of really probably emphasis. I put more emphasis on organization than anything else. Let me just tell you like an instance that happened this evening. I had an appointment set with someone about, let's say it was at 5 o'clock this afternoon. I also had a friend that needed me to do some things for him in the afternoon, so I went through that and I made it very clear to the friend that I needed to be out of there by 4 o'clock in order to reach my 5 o'clock appointment. Needless to say, it went right to 4 and I said, hey, got to go, got to make my appointment. Drove my distance of 45 minutes, got there what I always feel to be 5 or 10 minutes ahead to make sure if I had any preparation to do, I did it. And about 10 minutes after, I said, you know what? I don't believe my appointment is going to show up. The grace period usually for an appointment is 15 minutes. When you've reached the 15-minute window, it's all over normally. And of course, this was a new client that I have something for them, and they did not have the courtesy to let me know that they weren't going to make it. So I sent them a text at 15 after and said, I hope you haven't had a problem or an accident or anything. I'm wondering if you're going to make your appointment. The text came back, sorry, I did send one earlier, the text didn't go out. It made no difference. But isn't it so irritating when you upset people's schedules and so forth, and maybe you forget something or you forget to be there, or maybe you were like me on the receiving end of that, the unorganized person. Well, when you're on the receiving end, there are a couple of things I want to tell you that you can do to help guard against this, and this is where I failed on this. First of all, I should have confirmed that with the client. So the very first thing I want to do is to make sure about 30 minutes ahead of time, or maybe even we could do an hour, that I want to make sure that I confirm, and texting is a great way to do this. So if we text a confirmation to the person, then that's a great way to keep those appointments. Secondly, now this is if you're on the receiving end of it, because you don't want to waste your time. Now remember, this particular person, this friend that I was helping, I had to stop early, and that upset their schedule also, which then upset the person coming in after that. It's a chain reaction. People do not realize that it's very, very important to keep your commitments. Keep your commitments with folks. If it's a scheduled time, it's so critical to either, if you can't make it, do it. Now the acceptable time, I feel, which would have been good if the person knew that they were not going to be able to do it, is 1 hour ahead. So if you're not going to make it, it's 1 hour, yeah. If you're not going to make a schedule and you don't know it up till the very last minute, at least try to give them an hour, so that if I'd had an hour, I could have gone ahead and helped a friend and get more things done up there and get it done. Now, if it's an emergency that pops up, everyone understands that. But I'm going to tell you, the majority of the time, when you tell someone you're going to be there, it's not an emergency that keeps you. You've either forgotten it or, whatever from there. Maybe you didn't want to. Be honest with people. Be upfront. Say, I can't make that. I just can't make that today. Or if you saw earlier this morning, if that person had told me earlier this morning, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that schedule, I'm okay with that, as long as I have got adequate time to make other plans. Everybody's schedule is